Orihime Inoue doesn't always get the credit she deserves. In earlier arcs, a lot of fans saw her as the sweet, soft-spoken girl who needed protection. But during the Thousand Year Blood War, Orihime showed us something different. She stepped up, held her own, and reminded me, and probably a lot of you, why she's so important to the story. Now, quick heads up, spoiler warning, I'm going deep into her role during the final arc of Bleach, so if you're not caught up, now's your chance to click off. Go read the manga and catch up with the anime, then come back. We'll be waiting for you when you get back. Now, with that being said, when I first started watching Bleach, I'll admit, I didn't expect Orihime to become one of my favorite characters. But over time, I saw a depth in her kindness, her loyalty, and most of all, her strength. Especially in the Thousand Year Blood War, Orihime proved that her heart is a weapon just as powerful as any Zanpakuto. In today's video, I want to break all of that down. What makes Orihime so important during the war is how her powers have evolved, and why her presence is more valuable than most people realize. From the moment the final arc begins, I could tell that Orihime wasn't just there to support Ichigo emotionally. She was on the battlefield for real. She trains really hard with Chad under Kisuke Urahara, which already tells you she's not playing around and she's taking this threat just as seriously as any other person in the verse, like the captains, the Vizards, even Grimmjow. She's just as pivotal to the success of this mission and taking down Yhwach. And when they enter the Soul King's palace, she's not just tagging along. She's right there helping Ichigo take on one of the toughest enemies the series has ever thrown at us. I remember watching her fight along him and thinking, this is not the same Orihime from Soul Society arc. That shy, timid girl that was unsure of her own abilities is more confident and more reassured on the battlefield. Let's talk a little bit more about her powers. Santen Kashun, her iconic healing and shielding technique. It gets a massive glow up during this arc, and what really blew my mind was seeing how durable her shield becomes. She literally blocks an attack from Yhwach. Yes, the almighty Yhwach, the Quincy King, she's able to block and redirect attacks from him. To me, that moment said everything that we needed to know. Orihime's power literally rejects fate. She doesn't just heal wounds, she erases them like they never happened. And I think that people really underrate her ability in the verse. She's clearly top 3 when it comes to overpowered abilities in the Bleach universe. It's quite literally god tier support. I'd even argue that Santen Kashun is one of the most broken abilities in terms of healing, if not in all of anime. I'm so sorry to Tsunade and Sakura. I know that they've worked their entire lives to be the best healers, but Orihime, I think, just eclipses them. But what really gets me is Orihime's emotional and mental strength. She's not a frontline fighter like Ichigo or Kenpachi, but she still stands firm. Even after watching her friends get hurt, even when she's facing the most terrifying of enemies, she doesn't back down. And I know that we're talking about the Thousand Year Blood War, but I want to talk about a moment during the Waco Mundo arc, when Grimmjow is literally trying to force Orihime to heal Ichigo. He has his hand to her throat, and he's like, you will heal him. And she's like, no, I refuse. And she's standing 10 toes down. That is someone who has conviction, and she's willing to die than to subject her, at the time, her really close friend, to any more pain. It just goes to show that she's much stronger than what we give her credit. And in addition to that, getting back to the Thousand Year Blood War, there's a moment in the palace where she's ready to risk her life without hesitation, and that kind of bravery hits different when it's coming from someone who's been through so much. Again, for all of us who have followed her throughout the beginning of the series, Orihime has experienced tremendous loss. So, in my opinion, she's not fearless, she's courageous in spite of fear. Now, I can't talk about Orihime without bringing up Ichigo. Their relationship shifts during this arc. It's more subtle than dramatic, but I notice how much more equal they feel now. She's not just watching him fight, she's fighting alongside him. There's a moment, several moments actually, where Ichigo is struggling and Orihime doesn't fall apart. It's not like she's like, oh my goodness, Ichigo's not gonna win, I'm gonna throw my hands up. She supports him with her powers, her words, and just her presence. That's some real serious character growth on her behalf. And it signifies now that it's more of a partnership between them now. And you know, of course they get married later on, but I think that the seeds have been planted during this arc for them. Orihime's importance isn't just in what she does, it's in who she is. She reminds us that kindness doesn't equal weakness, that empathy is powerful, and that support roles in anime deserve just as much respect as any flashy swordsman or deadly Quincy. Speaking more on support roles, I mentioned Tsunade and Sakura from Naruto. Those two are probably in the upper echelon of most powerful characters in the verse, but because they play more of a support role, I feel like they're often overlooked. So I feel like Orihime kind of shares more similarities with them. To kind of give you guys some context as to why I feel like she's so underrated. And when I see Orihime in the final arc, I see someone who's finally being treated like the powerhouse that she's always had the potential to be. And I love that for her. She didn't have to become violent to be strong. She just had to believe in herself. And I think a lot of things that were blocking Orihime, especially from the beginning of the series, was her confidence, her ability to really show up as her best self. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. I think as we're going through life, we second guess ourselves. We have imposter syndrome. We feel like we don't quite belong to the group that we're in. And I think that a lot of the feelings that Orihime was experiencing were very valid. And the fact that she's able to kind of confidently kind of grow into herself and no longer second guessing her role, it's really cool to see. And I hope that we get more of her in the future. So if you wrote Orihime off in the past, I really think it's time to give her another look. In the 1,000-Year Blood War, she's not just a healer. She's the heart of the team. And honestly, without her, Ichigo and the rest literally would not have made it as far as they did. Like I said, she has one of the most broken abilities in the show, so she's literally keeping the team alive and playing defense. Top tier defense. I'll always have respect for Orihime for holding her ground in a war full of Quincy's that are damn near gods in the verse. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she is, at the end of the day, yes, she's a Fullbringer, but she's a human. Can you imagine being a human in the Bleach verse? It's not a fun time. So the fact that she's able to come out of that war alive speaks volumes for her. And I would like to also add, she did it all with grace, grit, and that same gentle heart that made us all fall in love with her since the beginning of the series. If you made it this far, I want to say thank you. I've got a lot more Bleach content coming, so if you want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to reach my 1,000 subscriber goal by the end of next month, and every single subscriber helps me keep doing what I love, and that's bringing you guys more Bleach content. Now, this channel doesn't just do Bleach. I do Castlevania Nocturne, and in the coming weeks and months, I'm going to start dabbling a little bit more into Dragon Ball, Naruto, but I wanted to really build my foundation with my community and support you all and kind of let you guys know that I don't plan on just, you know, dropping videos for one series and then hopping off to the next. Like, I want to kind of make it a continuation of all the series that I'm talking about, because I have so many ideas that I want to put out there, talk about, ramble, and I just love engaging with you all in the comments. It's been a ton of fun. In addition, if you are also a fan of the 1,000-Year Blood War, I actually have a playlist that I put together. It's my Bleach discussions playlist. I talk about Unohana, Aizen, Kaname Tozen. I have different like fan ideas, theories. It's really going to grow throughout the coming weeks. So check out that playlist because I'm going to have more content on that. It really helps my channel's watch time hours because, again, we're hoping to get monetized. I would love to get paid, you know, for what I love to do. And of course, I love it, but who doesn't like money, right? So if you guys really like the content and you want to hear me talk more about your favorite characters, check out that playlist. I'll actually have it linked at the end of this video. And I'll also add an info card too, somewhere in the middle, so you guys can check it out. Because I don't want you guys to miss it. It's a lot of fun. With that being said, though, I'm Thick Boy Gohan. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.